Hello, my friend, and welcome to today's episode on how to cope with anger. Now, not everyone is an angry young woman here, but most likely you either are someone who expresses anger or suppresses anger, just like venting inside, right? So, wherever you are with your anger management, I want to just have a listen to what I have to say. All right. So we're going to talk about anger as an emotion which creates further more emotions, which make us eat unhealthily and which propel our suffering. All right. So I'm going to just like give you a quick peek on what's happening in my life, and then you can go into the next segment, which is where I start talking about anger. So an update in my life. I am actually eating better than I've ever have, and it's all thanks to you guys, my followers on Instagram and Facebook. I have posted every day my meals, what I have been eating, um, and that has been inspiring for many of you for almost a month. And for you guys, I ate healthy. So many of you engaged with me and wanted to come on this diet journey. And I hence created a private Facebook group just for PCOS women. And I called it as the PCOS Mindset Group. It is a women only Facebook group where we talk, or rather, write about our mindset around food. So that is happening. It's going to be for free until 31st December 2023. So I invite you to come join this meal party where we declare our monthly goals and I teach you a process of assessing your meals, the mindset behind the way you eat. So please come. I want you to understand how you eat so that you can start making changes there, right? Like it's easier to change our mind and then eating becomes easier. So this month for me, my goal is to completely remove flour and sugar and dairy from my meals. So last week I just decided last month I just decided to share whatever I was eating. There was no plan. There was plan to lose some weight and not have flour and sugar as well. Yes. But this month is like, I'm not going to have flour and sugar on weekends as well. So that's my plan. And so far, I must say it's working really well. For me, I want to do this work to remove all flour and sugar and dairy from my meals completely. It's because I don't want allergies anymore. And allergy season is coming, and I know I'm going to suffer. Now, gluten, sugar, and dairy makes my immune system really weak. And that's why my allergies get worsened. And I want to go off them to see what happens. I've never really done the work to see what effect it has on my allergies. So you can do the same kind of work, like it can be going off gluten or just like not snacking or whatever. You can decide, like you just come to the group and then introduce yourself, and I'll take it from there. So follow the link in bio in the show notes to access the group membership requests. Also, if you happen to be pregnant, I mean, unlikely if you're PCOS and you've not done the work, you're still listening to me. But if suppose you are pregnant or you know someone who's pregnant, I have just released a pregnancy consultation series on YouTube. I used to sell these pregnancy second opinions to my pregnant women as a part of my coaching membership called Blissful Pregnancy. So I used to sell them these videos where I was like giving them second opinions on what I thought about their problems. So I address my expert opinions about some of the common pregnancy concerns. So mostly on YouTube, you will get all medical knowledge by doctors, but I'm giving you the mindset behind those medical problems. So I want you to come and see that pregnancy series if you're pregnant, or if you just want to like have a crash course in pregnancy, just come there. It's a bit fun. It's not the usual medical stuff. So that is what is happening in my life. Today, let's start talking about anger. Well, for me personally, it started with a decision to get hypnotherapy for myself because I was having a lot of anger against my husband and my mother after I had my first child. It was after the postpartum period, but it was just I was going crazy. So I have literally been working on my mind for more than 5 years, and I must say, my anger has almost reduced to 90%. I mean, I still get angry, but I no longer act from my anger. Like, it's very rare. And even if I act from my anger, I am like quickly apologizing, as if like I realize that what I did, and then I will talk more about this at the end of the episode, how I do that. So, anger is actually a natural, normal human emotion that arises in response to perceived threats, injustice, or frustrations. So it's just a normal response. So never ever wrong yourself for being angry. Don't tell yourself you should not be angry. Anger is a part of our humanity. So please don't think you shouldn't be angry. It just happens, right? And there are some people who believe that we are feeling creatures who think. And then there are some people who believe we are thinking creatures who feel. So either way, anger happens sometimes and we have an opinion about it. And I offer you to not judge yourself for being angry. Instead, get curious why you got angry. So anger is an emotion which can come sometimes unconsciously, very much without your control. It can be due to our past experiences, when someone is not meeting our expectations, when someone is crossing a boundary, someone is disrespecting you, when you're scared, or when you're facing obstacles. These are just some of the reasons why I feel angry. So anger can come out of so many thoughts. And so anger is a feeling, right? I also like to look at anger as a neutral circumstance. Yes, that happened. I got angry. I am someone who gets angry when someone doesn't follow my orders in spite of being told. Sometimes I get angry when people don't understand what I want. I don't sometimes really see my anger is in my control. Like that also happens. It might also happen to you. And we actually start thinking that people are out to attack us with an intention. Like they're here to attack me. We forget that they are also human beings who probably have a valid reason for why they do what they do. Right? So anger is nothing but a physiological response in your body where you're going into that fight mode, right? So whenever we are scared, it's a sort of fear response or a trauma response where whenever we are scared, we either go to fight, we flight, or we freeze, or we fawn. So anger is the fight response where we are like attack, we want to pounce on someone else, right? Whereas the freeze response is like you pretend dead, like no one is watching, or you flight as in you run away from the scene, or you fawn where you start pleasing the other human so that you're safe. So when you're angry, when you're in that fight response, your heart rate might increase, it's beating faster. Your blood pressure might rise. Your adrenaline is released. You actually I feel my ears are heating up when I'm angry. There's some tingling. It's like a very loud sensation. I'm very much aware when I'm angry. It's like your body is preparing for action, like to attack. That's what is anger. Now, we have an option to express our anger in a healthy way or an unhealthy way, but we are not usually aware of what causes anger. What I normally do is I just start vomiting out harsh words, which hurt me more than the other person. Like that other person just like, it's okay, forget it, and they move on. And they just actually think that, oh, she's having a day. But for me, I feel way worse when I say something mean to someone else. So as adults, we are very good at passing anger. Either we very good at processing anger, either we express it out or we hide it. We either vomit harsh words to others or we get passive aggressive towards others for a day or so. Sometimes we just attack ourselves internally for being angry. And that is an unhealthy way of expressing anger, right? Where we didn't understand why we were angry in first place. A healthy way of processing anger could look like becoming aware of what we are thinking, why are we angry, and then taking responsibility for what we are thinking. Most of the times, our problem would be solved if we just take responsibility for what we are thinking. I didn't know how I look when I'm angry. Honestly, I always thought anger means men. Like I know a few men, when they get angry and they look at me that way, I get scared. Right. So I know what anger looks like. In fact, I always thought that I'm someone who is loved by everyone. I never experienced anger. This is what I thought, really, as an adult. I mean, I know I get angry sometimes, but it's not so much. Until my child started to express her thoughts. Like my mother always told me, Rashmi, you're such a good girl, but when you get angry, then you know, like that's something she would say. And I'm like, what? I'm angry, mama. But when my child started to express her thoughts whenever I was angry, that's when I realized she's actually perceiving from my body language. So initially, when she started expressing her reactions to me when she was probably 4, she would get angry with me for me being angry. So every time she sensed that I'm angry, like my facial expression would change, she would just like start crying and get angry and like try to scratch me or hit me. So that is when I realized that her tantrum was coming from my anger. She was playing, but I thought something and then I got upset and then she got upset. I told her that, listen, Mama was not angry with her. She was just having angry thoughts about something. And then I loved her, that she doesn't need to be scared of me. Then every time she saw me angry, she would ask me to smile in the middle of my anger. She'd be like, Mama, smile, Mama, smile. Like initially she would get scared. Like first was like where she would attack me. Then she would get scared, like, Mama, I'm scared. Then she would like just try to please me. She'd be like, Mama, smile, Mama, smile. And she also does the flight response where she disappears. Like she just leaves the room and then she would be crying in the corner. She does all those things. I mean, it's so cute to see that. Like, I didn't really mean to hurt her. Like, it's just, I don't even have awareness that I'm angry. Like, it's just a change in expression which is happening because of what I'm thinking. Like, I didn't even say what I'm thinking. Just from my body language, she's picking that up. And this is not just my daughter, this is with every human. This is how we communicate non-verbally almost 70% of the times. Like people know what we're thinking. So every time she saw me angry, she would ask me to smile in the middle of the anger. And I started flipping it. I used to be like, okay, every time she got angry with me, I would be like, Mia, smile, Mia, smile. And then she got it. Like, we can't smile when we are angry. It's just not possible. I would rather be in my anger. So that's what the message is. Like, when you're angry, you're angry. You don't really have to run away to a better feeling thought. You can just like sit with the anger. So I gave her the permission to let us know when she's angry, right? Like I didn't even have an awareness that I was angry. She was picking something. And some days she started getting angry. And then I started giving her permission. Listen, Mia, it's okay. You can be angry. You don't really have to like scream, shout, or you can scream and shout. You can cry, or you can tell us what happened. And me just giving her that permission, I don't see her as angry as before. I don't know how long this might work, but I'm modeling how to process anger for her, and that is helping me so far. I'm going to carry on doing that. The reason why everybody will tell us to deal with our anger is because angry people are perceived as a threat to others. People like my daughter might get scared of angry people. They either fight back, right? Like she'll scratch me, or she freezes, like she'll look here and there, or she will run away. She literally will leave the room, or she will start pleasing me by telling me, Mama, smile, not good, not good, something like that. Apart from that, angry people are nothing but scared people. That's really, I mean, I was shocked when I heard that for the first time, that angry people are nothing but scared people. They might seem like they want to attack us, they might scare us, but they're not doing anything physically. They're just screaming and shouting, and they're doing that out of, like, it's just like a projection of something that they're scared of. So when my employee is not doing as instructed, I fear, like, I'm getting angry, right, at her. But actually, behind that anger, I'm fearing that I'm being exploited. Like, when she doesn't follow my instructions, that means I'm being exploited. When my daughter is not behaving and I get angry or irritated, I fear that this is going to become a bigger problem soon and I would have to face this bigger problem in my future. That's again like the fear of next weird problem, which is not even there yet. Or when my husband is on the phone, instead of like he's scrolling on the phone instead of talking to me, I really think he's stressed, because constantly being on the phone is a sign of you trying to cope with your negative emotions. It's a sign of anxiety. So when I see him on the phone, like initially I used to get very angry with him. I was like, why are you doing that? Stop it, stop it. But now I just see that he's probably stressed over something. And I don't want him to be stressed. Like, that's the fear that I have. So we get angry repeatedly over common issues, and we loop in those anger related issues, like our thought creating our anger, and then we say something or we do something, and then we just keep looping in them for minutes, for hours, for weeks, for days, for years. You see what happens to your heart when you get angry, right? Your heart is pacing, adrenaline is pumping. Thus, a chronic anger can have negative effects on your mental and physical health. It may contribute to stress, can contribute to anxiety, depression, and relationship issues. So, how do we deal with anger? And I always like to start working from what has already happened. Yes, as a life coach, we want to plan for things, but sometimes we just can't plan. It's too abstract for us. At least it was for me. Like, I can't be intentional. I can't go into the future and imagine things. I used to do that as a child. I used to daydream, but as an adult, it was very hard for me. So for me, I started to do the work from where I was, where anger had already happened. And I was busy judging myself that I shouldn't be angry. But that's what life coaching taught me, that I don't have to really judge myself. I can love myself and then get curious why I got angry. So instead of blindly telling myself not to be angry, I want to know why I'm getting angry. So the work starts after you've had an anger response. So don't think that, you shouldn't be angry because you did one thought download. No, you're going to be angry like multiple times, a bazillion times, and you're going to be angry for the rest of your life. It's just your reactions are going to change. So first tell yourself, every time you get angry, it's okay that you are angry. Or, of course, you got angry. Don't wrong yourself for being angry. Keep your hand on your heart and ask yourself, what happened, sweetie? What pissed you off? Now, don't judge yourself or whatever comes next. Take a piece of paper or open a note folder on your device and start writing out whatever pissed you off without any edits. Just for 5 minutes, write down whatever is on your mind, and you will find out why you're angry. Your anger is a manifestation of an underlying problem. It could be fear of money being wasted, or fear of being exploited, or things getting worse. For me, I get to see my money story when I get upset over trivial things. It's because I think money is going to disappear or I'll be homeless. And this has never happened to me. I've never really not had money, luckily, and I've never been homeless. But I've practiced thinking that the money will disappear or I will be homeless for a really long time. And every time I get angry over trivial issues, my anger shows me it's time for me to work on my money beliefs. Like, I want to practice beliefs like money always flows. I know how to make money. I know how to have a home. I have always figured out how to have a house to stay in. Like, as a human being, that is just, I know it, right? So we have 60,000 thoughts a day. And every time we get angry, it's because of an old thought pattern which has come, which is not corrected. So that's why this is like a constant work in progress. And you can really decide to change the way you think from now onwards until you die. Because whatever you are thinking right now is depending on what was taught to you by your parents, what was taught to you by the schooling system, by the educational system, by the work culture. And people don't know mindset. So they will always try to control the outside world and try to work on that. But I want to offer you control yourself, right? So whenever you get angry, opportunity to clean up, like, why did I get angry, right? So every time I express anger, I'm the one who feels it. It's my body who suffers. So most of the times, I only decide that I'm not going to act from anger and I'm going to get curious. This is like one of the first steps that you can take, that you could just decide not to take any action from that anger. Once I start understanding my anger after it has happened, I start noticing anger in real time. When you do the homework of like, okay, why did I get angry? Do some thought work on it, get coached on it if you want to. Then once your brain knows like, okay, Rashmi gets angry because of this reason, next time it will pause. It will start noticing, oh, this is happening again. Then it will learn to pause before you react. And like there are many other strategies you can use in real time when anger is happening. But I personally like to go, okay, when it's already happened and I can like use my amazing, beautiful mind to analyze it. But sometimes when anger is happening, you can count backwards from 10. It's basically like you're shifting your focus to something else instead of that thought. Or I just tell my mouth that just stay shut, don't say anything. Like if I get up in the morning and I'm like a bit irritated because of something, I'm like, nope, you're not gonna say anything. We're just gonna go and sit in a corner. And I literally sometimes go and sit in a chair if I have the time, close my eyes and wait for my mind to slow down. I basically meditate. I just sit, close my eyes, breathe, notice my breathing. Is it fast? Is it slow? And I just wait for my mind to slow down. It initially wants to scream. When I tell my body that we're not opening this mouth, then the mind slows down. And then I get to explore what happened if I want to, or I just like carry on doing whatever I'm doing. Generally, I don't get angry with the same issue if I have made peace with it, as in I have analyzed it. But sometimes anger comes back, and then I know I still have more work to do. Regarding talking to other humans about my anger issues, I do that only to people I know I can trust, or I know who love me unconditionally, like my husband or my coaches. I know all my coaches love me, and they never judge me. As that is what we do as coaches. We love without judgment. Regarding my husband, he's also my punching bag. So I sometimes land up screaming at him, but I'm also very quick to apologize once I have calmed down and understood my thinking and took responsibility for what I thought was causing me anger. Once I do my own anger work, I'm able to empathize with other humans who get angry. I like to think of them as puppies who are barking because they're scared. Angry people are scared people, really. And I couldn't believe that before, but then I slowly unleashed my brain to wonder what these angry people were really scared of. And I found some theories. So now I rarely get scared around angry people because I know they're angry because they're scared, because they're thinking something. Even if they're hating on me, they are screaming at me, I know nothing is wrong with me. It's on them for what they're thinking. I am perfect the way I am. I am worthy the way I am. I'm capable the way I am. And their anger can never touch me. It can only touch me if I let them. Also, how can we set boundaries around someone who's being angry at us? In life coaching, we never try to control others, but we try to control ourselves. So if someone is screaming at you, you draw a boundary, an invisible boundary, and lay out a consequence for yourself. So if you scream at me, suppose if you meet me as a human and you start screaming at me, my boundary, that is, someone is violating my boundary, right? Like, why am I being screamed at? So I just leave the room. If you scream at me, I might call a security. If like a patient is just yelling at me, I might just really call a security. If you scream at me, I'm going to ask you, are you okay? Is something wrong with you? Like, do you know what you're saying? Like, I might actually put that question on you. So we can always draw such boundaries around other people who are angry, right? And they're angry at us. And I help my clients with their anger issues, just the way my coaches help me. If you are someone who's really angry at the world or yourself, please reach out and set up a strategy call with me where we talk about how I can help you. Coaching can provide valuable tools for addressing underlying issues and improving emotional regulation. Remember, it's normal to feel angry, but how you choose to handle and express it can greatly impact your well being and relationships. All right, my friend, that's it for today. And I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.